Hey everyone, what is up? Tim here, and today I have a little Photoshop tutorial for you guys, and I'm going to show you how to make this neat and clean little YouTube channel background. It's really basic. It's just got a few squares on it. You can obviously replace this text, and I just put two of the things that I like to do and upload for this channel, and that's Call of Duty and After Effects. And so let's get started. So, and yeah, this is going to be the final finished product. So I'm going to go into Photoshop here, and you can see I have this file that is already made, and I'm going to go to File, New, and I'm just going to create a one that's 1650 by 1750. The dimensions can vary, but I just recommend using this because in the YouTube channel settings we're going to set it to repeat the edge pixels basically, so it's going to fill in all the blank spots. So I'm going to click OK. And basically what I'm going to do for these little squares, I'm going to copy the layer settings and bring them over here, and then I'm going to go through them and show you guys what I did. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to go over to the shape tool. I used a rounded rectangle tool, and you're going to want to draw your square. You know, it can be any size. These are just recommendations, and then fill in your color, and you're going to go into blending options, and that's how you're going to get there. So let me get my layer settings. I'm going to right click, copy layer style, bring it over here, and paste the layer style. So this is what the final product of my square is going to look like. So basically you're going to create this, you're going to create the square using the layer style tool, and then, or the shape tool, sorry, and then you're going to right click it and go into blending options. And first you want to check the checkbox drop shadow, and you want to go into the menu. I kept the drop shadow at 120 degrees. You can mess around with these distance and spread and size settings, but I found for this I just use 7, 6, and 9. And for this right here, the quality, you can mess around and see what you like best in each of these right here. You can also go in and edit it yourself, but I chose this one right here, second from the right on the bottom row, and that produced this result. But of course you can go through and you can actually make this neat little ring. Kind of, you can see in the back there, this neat little ring. I'll zoom in a sec. Let's see. This neat little ring around it if you would like, but I just chose the one. I chose this one. Let me go back, blending options. I chose this one right here. Whoops. This one. And that gave me this nice result right here. So next menu you want to go into is the inner shadow. You want to check the box on inner shadow, and I kept it again at 120 degrees, but I bumped up the size a little bit to about 109. And obviously all of these settings are your preference, but this is how I went about creating that. And I kept the contour the same. I didn't mess around with that. Next thing you want to go to is the outer glow. For the outer glow, I kept the opacity and everything the same in the blending mode, but the color I did like a light gray. The color over here doesn't matter, but I did a light gray, and that's why you see that that edge. And I used softer, and I increased the spread a little bit, and I went in the contour. I found that this one with the two little hills right here was the best for me. And the range and the jitter I just kept the same. I didn't want to mess with those. So the next setting you want to go into is the inner glow. You want to check inner glow, and I kept all of this the same. And again, I went in here and I changed the color a little bit. I didn't want it a complete gray. I wanted to keep it towards a little bit white, so I went in the middle, and it's a whitish grayish, lighter than the outer glow, which is a darker gray. And so in here I kept it at soft. I don't think I messed with the size too much, and I didn't mess with the contour either. So next setting is the bevel and emboss, which gives it this nice look. And so you want to click the bevel and emboss, and I used the pillow emboss for this style and kept it that smooth. I increased the depth to 266%. Of course, if you go up, it's going to look sharper and more thick, as you can see, but I kept it, I found a nice balance at 266. And you can also use this preview right here to see what you're doing, but I kept the direction at up. If you press down, it's just going to give it a different look, which actually looks pretty cool. But I kept it at up, and I didn't mess with the size or soften, and I didn't mess with the shading either. But I did go into the contour down here, and I changed it to, which one did I change it to? Let's see, change it to this one right here, and that gave me this look. But again, you can go in here and customize it, mess around with each of these, get the look that you want. It's kind of hard to decide because a lot of them look similar, but little subtle changes, and that's what that's all your preference. So in the range, I just kept it 100%. That doesn't really do anything. And the last thing I did was I applied some satin, and the opacity, I think I dropped it down to 50%. The angle is 19 degrees, and I put the size to 19. The satin, or the size, is basically, or not the size, I kept that at 19. Whoops. Go back in there. Satin, and I changed the contour to this one right here. But you can see if you change these, I don't know why it's not previewing it, but you'll get different satin finishes on the inside here. And so I kept it at this one right here. So that is all of the the blending options for this square. Once you're done inputting all of those blending options, it should look somewhat like this. Of course, you can change it the color and all of that, but basically next thing I did, let me zoom back out, is I went with the text tool and I typed right on top of here, and let's just use the same one. I typed in COD for Call of Duty. Again, color preference is yours. Dragged it in the middle here, and there we go. And again, I'm going to go back into here, my original document, and I'm going to grab the blending options, the layer style. So I'm going to copy the layer style, paste the layer style. I'm lazy to go over it at scratch, but so yeah, so let's go into the blending options and see what we did here. There's a lot less that I did in here, but I did the color overlay is basically how I got them to change colors so easily, you know, because I have like a bluish, a green, a purple, and then a darker blue. So let's go into the drop shadow. I added a drop shadow, kept it at 120 degrees. Actually, I didn't customize the drop shadow at all. I just clicked the drop shadow checkbox, and then I went all the way down to the bevel and emboss, and I again used a pillow emboss, again smooth, and the depth only about 100%, and didn't mess with anything else. The satin, I went ahead and just used this one right here, this sort of hill. Where is that? That one's this one right here. And I set the angle to 19 degrees. And then the color overlay, this is completely your preference on what you want it to look like. Basically, what I did was, you'll see here, I put the color overlay, the first one was just a black, and I pressed OK. And yeah, and that'll determine the color overlay for the text. But what you want to do for each of the other shapes to get the color to change is just go in here, go to blending options, and set a color overlay. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take my shape, I'm going to drag it down to the new layer button right here, and I'm going to use the move tool to drag the square somewhere over here, because as you can see, I drag it over here on the right. I'm just peeking out. So I'm going to drag it right here, but I don't want it to be the same color, so I'm going to go in here to this new square, right click, go to blending options, check color overlay, and you can see it automatically changes the color but keeps everything else. So say you wanted it a red, you could keep that, and then you could copy the text. Going to drag this down into the new layer, drag the text over here, and go into, well, actually I didn't change the color of the text at all, but you can go into the color overlay. Maybe you wanted to change it to a blue, a light blue, I don't know, whatever is your preference, whatever you're going for. But I don't really think that I need to change it. But basically that is the gist of what I did for my YouTube channel background. And then the other two squares, as you can see right here, and then it's just repeated at the bottom, but basically I just rotated them in different degrees. So I'm going to drag this one to the new layer, going to move it up. I'm going to show the transform tools with Control T, rotate it like so, maybe drag it over a little bit, press the check mark, go into the blending options, and again change the color of the color overlay. Maybe you want it a pink, I don't know. And then again, once more for the bottom, gonna move that one down here, show the transform tools, rotate it maybe like this so that all of them are sort of in a different direction. Check mark, and again go into blending options, color overlay, and make this one like a green or something like that. But that's not the exact colors that I use, but you get what I'm saying. And that is basically what I did for my YouTube channel background. Also, you can see it looks a little bit different. It looks a little bit darker. Basically what I did is I just added a color correction. And if you want to add a color correction, what I used is an external plugin called Magic Bullet Looks. You can find it on Google. It is a plugin that you have to buy, I do believe, but if you have it, what you can do is go to Layer, Flatten Image. That'll flatten it all into one image right here, one layer. And you go into Filter, Magic Bullet, Photo Looks, and it will open up this right here. And as you can see, that looks pretty cool. That red, that looks nice. Maybe I should change it to a red. But anyways, if you drag your mouse over to the left, it has a bunch of presets that you can use, and that is basically how I got it to look more sharper, I guess, look more professional. It's much more clean when you add a nice professional preset for color correction. So yeah, maybe you want to look a little bit darker. Maybe you want, it can change, it can alter all of the colors pretty much, which is pretty nice. So you can mess around with those, look at those, and that is basically the gist of what I did. And thank you guys for watching. That's it for the tutorial. If you guys would like to see any other tutorials, leave a comment, leave a like if you like the video. Check out my other Modern Warfare 3 commentaries and my other videos. I have lots of other After Effects tutorials. This is actually my first Photoshop tutorial, but I have several other After Effects tutorials for cool effects. But anyways guys, check out the channel if you would like. Thank you for watching. I love you all, and see you later.